Hello, my name is Haven, and I am in your your personal finance class. So this is my little reflection on my personal budget project. Now that I've done my project, I do feel more like an adult. From the budgeting project, I learned that my mom doesn't need to worry about what I'm spending my money on because most of it's going to food and gas. I'm not spending my money on clothes because she likes to think I'm spending my money on clothes and stuff I don't need, but it's food and gas. Also, during this project, I learned how to use Excel, and I learned how to actually keep up with what I'm spending my money on, meaning like actually writing everything down in Excel and like tracking it, adding what it was, where it came from, like the city I was in, the location, that's the word, the location of it, what category it's in, like what I spent it with, like cash, debit, credit, stuff like that. My biggest expense category was food and gas. Food was first, gas was second. And what surprised me about how I spend money is how much I actually spend on food, because each month it was close to 100 or more. Um, I can also, with me doing my expense tracking, I could also see how much gas has actually gone up, because it used to take me like $25 to fill up my tank, and now it's like $35 to fill up my tank. So gas has gone up. I would say that I do have a surplus of money. Um, I do plan on getting a job soon, so hopefully I can make the surplus even greater. But right now what I can do is I could get into cooking more, so I won't have to spend as much money on fast food and picking up junk food and stuff like that. Oh, another thing I could do is, like, once I get my job, I can start making or start putting money into my high yield savings account, because I want to open that soon. Um, I would say that my family and the people I hang around don't really live on a budget from what I can see. And I also don't think they track their expenses. But I also don't really know, because I feel like that's kind of like private. Everybody doesn't like show that or talk about it. But for my family, I don't really see any unhealthy spending behaviors. Um, but I will say an unhealthy financial behavior I've seen. Oh, that's my roommate. But an unhealthy financial behavior that I've seen is people putting in parlays and betting on sports, which would be considered gambling. Which would be considered gambling, and I wouldn't consider gambling very healthy at all. Um, I don't really think that I affect the society by living on a budget, because I don't live on a budget. So I don't really, and even then, I don't really think it would be that impacted if I started living on a budget. If anything, they would just make less money off of me individually. But I can't see it really impacting the society. Maybe if it was like more than just me and like a trend of people living on budgets suddenly emerged. But like just me living on a budget, I don't really think it would do much, since it's just me as an individual. Um, but I feel like not living on a budget, it kind of helps me socialize. And that sounds really bad, but I feel like you kind of have to have money to spend in order to socialize a little bit. Because like I go to dance classes, or I used to go to dance classes, and during those dance classes I would meet people, and that's kind of, I feel like you meet a lot of people by spending money. How would me and a friend set up their budget and live by it? Or me and my roommate and I actually had a suite mate, and we had talked to her about her spending habits a little bit. We told her that she needs to stop getting money from her savings to pay for these purchases, and to keep the money in her savings in her savings. And we also told her that she doesn't need everything that she buys. Whenever she comes back in town, we kind of ask her like, hey, like, what she's got. And if it's like, if she spent like good money, we'll be like, oh yeah, like good job. But if she spent too much money, like we'll tell her. But yeah. Oh, looking at my pay stubs from work, how much did I pay in taxes? Right now I don't work, so I don't have any comments on that. But I would say that taxes help people in need, but then again they take money away from individuals that have worked for it, which is kind of unfair or could be seen as unfair. But taxes help fund roads, schools, police departments, and fire departments, and it also helps communities in need have safe roads and public education. On the other hand, taxes take away money, leaving people with less money to spend on things that they need. Taxes also discourage people from taking financial risk. Financial risk meaning like saving money, working, and like putting money into like stocks and bonds and stuff like that. Um, it discourages people from taking financial risk because they lose a large part of what they earn by working. So, yeah, that's it.